Hello, my name is Reinhard Police. I'm a producer and business development manager at Nordic Games. My involvement with the Painkiller project is that I have to kind of make sure it will be a quality and great game, and monitor the progress of the game and the development process. And in the first stage, when we were about to kind of decide what we're going to do with the Painkiller franchise, I was involved in deciding that we will do this HD remake, which is Painkiller Hell Damnation, and also in the selection process of the Farm 51 as a development team. Over the years, there was after the original Painkiller, there were some smaller Painkiller games, which kind of tried to just use what's there. Yeah, we are also using the core design ideas for Painkiller Hell and Damnation, but totally creating a new and unique 2012 shooter experience, which is something that I believe that players want still. Yeah, because when we look at the shooter world, we see a lot of story-focused shooters, yeah, where you basically play cutscene after cutscene, and I believe that there are a lot of old-fashioned players out there who like action-focused shooters, and where it's about the core values of a shooter, which is like that you actually have to develop a certain level of skill, and not just like following a storyline. Of course, I do believe that the storyline is also important for games and also for shooting games, because in the end, games is like a field of entertainment, yeah. And as a field of entertainment, you have to entertain the people, yeah. And of course, this involves like creating an interesting story. But apart from like our old school shooter mechanisms, we have also a good story, which is kind of based on what the original story was, but it is like starts after the original Painkiller games, yeah. We also tried to create a good story presentation on this. So I think we have a little bit of, like, we have a lot of the original shooter feeling, and also a little bit of the modern shooter part, which involves like having a good story and present it just well. When we started evaluating the project and looking at options we have with the Painkiller franchise, and also when we start talking to the Farm 51 development team, we soon realized that a simple HD remake is not something what players are really pleased, or not just something where you stand out. Yeah, you can just stand out with a game that looks and feels like a 2012 game. So the Farm 51 was soon more convinced of doing like a reinterpretation, and also not just pimping up textures and 3D models and level architectures. They were about to also bring in new ideas and how to make the Painkiller experience, the original one, even better and a total 2012 game. This involved creating or totally recreating most of the monsters and characters we are featuring in the game, or to change or slightly alterate and enhance the gameplay mechanics. Yeah, and overall, this leads to a total quality and great game experience. So there were a couple of reasons. One of the reasons was that over the years, the Farm 51 has developed some shooting games, and it was clearly visible already as outsiders that this team is dedicated of creating high quality and great and totally unique feeling shooting experience. One of the other reasons was that the founding members of the Farm 51 were involved in creating the original Painkiller. And what can better happen that you have some of the original creators of the Painkiller game on board of a reinterpretation of the original game. So, and then when we first kind of made detailed contact, so visiting the team, having deeper discussions, we realized that this team wants to grow to be one of the best development teams here in Poland and even in the world. Yeah. And as we know, in Poland, there is a great enthusiastic development community around. So we kind of believe that this team can help us to reach our ultimate goal, to do a great Painkiller.
I'm Wojciech Pazdur, Development Director at the Painkiller HD project at the Farm 51, one of the founders of the Farm 51 and one of the creators of original Painkiller games. We started the Farm 51 at 2005 with a couple of my friends. Actually, the reason why we started the company was that we really wanted to create a first-person shooting game, really fast-paced first-person shooting game, like the original Painkiller itself. And finally, after 7 years, we are here. Actually, I think that our main point of interest, and it was always like this, are the first-person shooting games. This is something what we have bought all the team about, and this is something what we really want to do in the future. As for Painkiller, the same as for other games, we are using our internal tools for project management. We have some specific asset management system based on SVN servers. We have some interesting tool for tax management, but I don't really think it's something what gamers are really interested on. What is important for them is that we are using these tools to deliver the best possible quality product on the time. The goal of Painkiller HD has two components. First is to make the game to is very similar to the original, but it's looking at, well, it's good word, a hell better. I mean, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to create a unique experience inside the Painkiller world. We need to recreate the original experience in the new visual styles and with the new elements that makes also the fans of the old part wanting to play it again. You know, many years ago I have joined the People Can Fly team only because they were making the Painkiller. Actually, this was the game that moves to the very root of the FPS genre, because it's only you and your enemies and your amazing weapons and amazing environments all around, and nothing other is important. So this is the feeling that many modern shooters are losing by moving toward the better story, toward the more cinematic sequences and stuff like this. Painkiller is just about shooting, smashing, destroying and killing, and this is what makes it particularly fun, especially for me. Well, today many development studios uses Unreal 3 technology because generally it's very good technology, it's amazing and easy to work with, but we have chosen this technology because whole its core is built about two things that are crucial for development of Painkiller Hell Damnation. First, stunning visuals and special effects. Second is fast-pacing gameplay built around the first-person shooting mechanics, which is very well incorporated into Unreal, the same as the multiplayer technology, which is quite scalable and very flexible and allows us to create prototypes and to implement new features for the Painkiller HD in no time. Okay, so people are asking why we have started the Painkiller HD. Why not to start Painkiller 2 or Painkiller 3 or whatever? Why is to try to reinvent the wheel instead of making a new car? Well, the answer is that it was not like ambitious, because it's much easier to create a new concept of the first-person shooter that fits the modern standards as it's usual being done, to copy all the standards from the other game and to call it Painkiller, just exchange the main hero to somebody else or put some demons inside. But in fact, the project development and design of the Painkiller HD took much more time that it may appear at the first glance. If you run Painkiller, you will see, okay, new graphics, new menu, new animation, some new weapons and things like this, and you can talk, okay, they have pimped something, they have added something, so nothing really unusual. But in fact, we have spent a very long time discussing, designing, sketching, rewriting stuff to make it both fitting the definition of the genre, which was done partially by games like Quake, Doom and Painkiller, and also to add some new elements that create broader experience, but don't fight with the original assumption or original ideas. Actually, I think it was one of the toughest design processes in all my life. You know, everybody says that he wants to make a game that he likes to play. So in my case, it's not just a buzzword that I want to spread all over the fans and to make them believe that I'm the fan of Painkiller. To be honest, I was always the fan of first-person shooting genre. This is my favorite special kind of game, and what we really want to do and what we really believe that we are doing is the best remake of any first-person shooter, classic first-person shooting game made.
Hi, I'm Jarek. I'm lead animator in the Farm 51 for about 5 years. The first thing I would like to say is that all the animations and stuff for our characters from old Painkiller became a bit out of date nowadays. So in most of cases we decided to make them from scratch using motion capture technology. And as you can see on some examples I prepared, the difference is really easy to notice, like on this guy or on this one, he's just standing here. Not all characters are remade, but most of them, to make the proper modern look of the animations. But still we're trying to preserve the original comic style look of those animations, because those are like where they in original. We're adding some new features like, death animations. There weren't any in original Painkiller, or a lot of realistic hit animations. So as you see, the characters move very smoothly. The fight with them is much more satisfying, in my opinion, than in original Painkiller, because of all those hit animations that make them much more realistic. And here is one of the new features. We can see the boss from the first chapter that is just watching the arena right here. And he just looks as we fight here. And in each level we can notice some actions when he just watches what is going on. Also, tomorrow we're going to mocap session to record cutscenes animations. All cutscenes are totally rewritten, and because whole plot of the game is changed, so we will introduce some new story chapters.
Hi, my name is Painkiller. I work in the Farm 51 as a lead artist. Yeah, I create some objects to new, better version of Painkiller. Also, I put original levels from Painkiller. I'm creating new objects, textures, shaders. I put original levels to Unreal Engine. Also, I check technical side of these objects. Now we can see a level at train station. We choose the most interesting and playable levels from the first Painkiller game and Battle Out of Hell extraction pack. Original levels have an excellent design, but the overall look of them is a little out of date. That's why we have decided to stay with the old geometry, adding some new details, elements of environment and additional destructive objects. Now I go to Geek Hall. We are also updating textures for high resolution and enrich graphics by adding normal maps and advanced shaders. Yes, we can see some shaders, emissive, change tables. The technical side of every object in game is very important.
because object must have good lighting, good collisions. In effect, Painkiller Hell Damnation will have a destined look without sacrifice the old school hardcore gameplay.
Hi, my name is Andrzej Marszałek and I am character artist currently working on the Painkiller Hell Damnation project. I was working on this project as a freelancer for about 1 year, and then I moved in as the in-house character artist. My responsibility is to make models good quality and make them refined and fresh. Let me show some of the content in-game. We split our characters into two categories. First category was the monsters, was the characters made from the scratch. It also involved people from the first Painkiller. So the design, new design of these characters will be recognizable as previous original Painkiller monsters and other characters. So this is the one example of the brand new character. This is character of Grim Reaper. As you see, it's all from the scratch. It's totally new character, but I hope it has a spirit of the Painkiller itself within. And the second category of models we have, it's models which have been remade from the old ones. This model probably everyone knows. This is the Evil Monk, which is the most recognizable character in the Painkiller. So this is not a lot of changes. This same look, this same outfit, everything pretty the same, but it has a little details which has been changed since original. So the next example is the model of Daniel, which you probably know from the first Painkiller. It has been enchanted and it looks real nice right now. So this is the example of the next model. It is really big and heavy armored, heavy feel, badass character, which was really fun to do and really challenging because it has a lot of details. But with Unreal 3 technology, we were able to make a really detailed stuff, and it looks pretty refined, pretty fresh. Okay, so the next model, which I want to show you, is the newest of our models. It is the model of Preacher, which looks probably totally different than its previous version. We are making our best effort to put the old Painkiller spirit into new models. I believed the Painkiller fans around the world will be surprised by the quality of our new models and new.
Hello, my name is Wojtek Knopf. I'm a lead programmer on the Painkiller Hell Damnation project. I work at the Farm 51 since the beginning. It's about 7 years, and for most of the time I was a gameplay and AI programmer. Our goal at programmer team was to recreate original Painkiller game in new engine. So we have to implement a lot of physics, destructible objects, explosions, monster blown on the places. So I think the game will be better even than original because we've made some incredible special effects and new sounds, and packed in the Unreal Engine make completely difference. It brings, I think, this game into new level. Like Kismet, not all can be done in Unreal script, so some code have to be right in C++ code. This is mainly for optimization and stuff that are really integrated deep into engine, and these parts are really crucial to the whole game because there's a very little margin of error there, because when you made something wrong in Unreal Script, I think it's not crashing. Something will be working not as good as it could, but usually when you make some error in the engine, the game will crash. To be honest, a lot of programming have to be done in Unreal Script. And as you can see, this is, for example, Unreal Script for a boss giant, which is on, I think, the second level of the game. It's a very huge guy walking on the cemetery. And we put a lot of work to make it better than original, because bosses in original Painkiller were, I think, a little dumb. Ours are smarter. And the next very fun and interesting part of Unreal Engine, and it's the thing that helped us a lot making the Painkiller monsters look way better than in the original. It's a material editor, and it's a tool that can help artists and programmers to create the way that game look like. And it's kind of like putting blocks together. You can look at these blocks doing a little crazy stuff with pixels, and the final result is something like that. And you will see a lot of that kind of cool stuff in the game. The biggest challenge for us, and I think the funniest part, was creation of cooperative gameplay, because it brings this game, I think, new soul. Because two players can join together, playing through internet, LAN game or split screen, and have a great fun game. At the first stage of development, we've created a bunch of tools so we could easily move, I think, 90% of gameplay from the original Painkiller to our new framework. Thanks to that, most of our artists, gameplay designers could focus on improving this, make it better, tweak the gameplay and graphics. And now I will show you our editor. This is one of the levels of Painkiller, Cemetery. And now I'm working on pathfinding system, because we have to tweak and improve it a lot, because original version of implemented in this engine isn't very good and efficient, so we have to make it better. So this is Kismet, and all gameplay events are made here. If you can see all battles, these are arenas like in original Painkiller. So if I show you the level, this is the level, and is divided by some closed areas in which the fight and gameplay is made. Okay. So all gameplay is happening here, not like in old Painkiller when all actions were hard-coded in some very strange and hard to maintain scripts. Now we are doing all in Kismet. It has built-in debugger, and our designers can tweak it whenever they want and almost without programmers' help. So it's good for programmers and good for designers, and I think it's very good for the whole project. And now it's game over.
So my name is Szymon Drobezgiewicz. I work in farm from the 1 year. I started here work because I was changing the plans concerning my future. Before that I was working in archaeology in Poland and in UK, but the work in archaeology wasn't, it didn't suit me, so I was looking for something in the informatics. And I met my friend from the children years, and he told me just to maybe to try to do some game work. And I came here to Gliwice from Krakow and started to work with people like Marcin and Cyprian, Przemek, Błażej, Bartek, and they showed me everything, how to do it properly, how to have fun from this. And I'm really keen of it. to produce the games like this. So the new Painkiller that we are doing now is using the levels from the original game, but they are a little bit reshaped, so we can use the full extent of the Unreal Engine and show the full potential of this engine. So this looks very good, especially if we are using the three-dimensional technology. And playing this game is very nice in this three-dimensional view. We'll wait a little bit to start it. And I need to have a code because it's very hard level. There's a lot of shooting here. All enemies are running at you. You don't have a time to think a lot. You need to be very quick and work a lot of strategies just to avoid them. As you see, this looks a little bit like Star Wars for now, but we'll change it. What to say more? I think that this idea to create a three-dimensional Painkiller will be very good for the players who will see how we can change old games into new ones without changing a lot in the gameplay. So, for example, I can say that most of the levels from the original will be here, like factory, where you need to find treasures, fighting the enemies at the post-industrial area. There will be a cemetery where you need to make your way through the waves of the enemies. There will be also the big monsters in the Gothic Cathedral where you need to find your way around these big monsters. There will be also the nice looking level. It will be something like the Second World War train station where you need to catch a train and fight the enemies during that. Also, we have a little bit strange level concerning the laboratory. You will go there and just observe how the terrible experiments, genetic experiments are made on the other creatures, and you will just try to avoid them and end the level. So I think that the old design with the new three-dimensional graphic and some of the custom actions that we are adding with Martin, who was sitting here, will be a very good idea for the new players who haven't seen the Painkiller earlier. And I guess it will be hard to win it on the hardest level, because as you see, they are shooting all the time and I cannot kill them all for the 2 minutes. The artificial intelligence of our opponent is much better than in the original game. People from the programs are working on it to make it even more harder. So for me, it's a very good fun to, just watch the old game, how it changes the shape into something new, plays new actions with Martin, and just play it all the time, checking for the bugs and such things. From time to time, because I'm new, I'm making some mistakes still, so I need to, fix them. And this is a very good lesson how to just change the old game into something that could be very fun. I haven't played the Painkiller earlier, so it was very new for me. And I see that the shooting games from the old times that I was just avoiding, they were fun. And it was my mistake to not play them. And now I feel very good. You can see here that we've got static meshes already. These are all the objects that are surrounding the scene of the level. So all the walls, all the buildings, conveyors, something from landscape like trees. These are static meshes that we don't use too much in the gameplay. More important are things like, for example, spawn points where we are placing the enemies. This is how the spawn point looks like. You can go to the properties of this and change some numbers in it. So how much enemies you want to spawn from this point, in which time do you want to separate them into groups or what? You can also choose which kind of opponent you want to spawn from this point. For now, we've got about 20 of enemies to choose. It's a lot of for now. So for the last 6 months, we were just populating all these levels from the with the spawn point, with the things like destroyable objects, which you can shoot and they are just blowing into the air. We are pasting lights so player can see everything in the better light. I can show you how the path looks like. This green area shows the place where the pawns, the opponents, can walk without the troubles. The red area shows where they cannot go. So it's very obvious for us where we can fight with the opponents in all this green area. Here, for example, these objects will be destroyed after shooting, and after that, opponents and we can walk through this area without the problems. A little bit harder is with the steps, because they are creating the barriers that most of spawns cannot walk. So we need something like, you know, that like, how to say, slope, so they can walk slightly, or create our own steps. And it's not the best view, but there are good paths here. So you can see that we've got green path here. It took me about half an hour to create it on these not too good stairs. Okay, so this is how the work looks like. First, we are placing static meshes like buildings, big objects, landscape. Then we are trying to populate the whole level with the spawn point where our opponents will show. Then we are trying to place a little bit of help for the player, like ammunition. Where we have here ammunition. Oh, maybe I will show something different than ammunition. I will show you the armor. It's hard to catch because first the player must find the way through the waves of enemies, walk here and use the ladder to climb on it and find this armor who will help him to defend against the bullets and other attacks. So mostly this is all that I'm doing. I'm trying to, after all this is done, I'm trying to just clear the paths for the pawns so they won't stuck in the, for example, tree, or they won't stuck here, jumping from this step. I'm trying to the clear path so they will see me everywhere, because the pawns they've got something like a range of view. If you are off of this green place, they cannot see you. So, for example, if the player will jump here, pawns won't see him. That's why we are doing this big balustrade, so players cannot walk here. Because in this case, pawns will be blind. This kind of item shows the pylons which are responsible for the path that we are creating.
My name is Marcin Wielocha. I'm a level designer in the Farm 51. Copy the gameplay from the original Painkiller game. We're trying to make it as close as it was, as similar as it was in the original Painkiller game, but some changes were necessary, and we added a few things ourselves, like new enemies, a new weapon, new boss battle, new storyline, and also the cooperative mode. The gameplay in Painkiller is very specific. It's an old school, dynamic, and depending on the player's skill, we are trying to not destroy the balance that was created in the original, and the timings and the amount of the enemies, but still some changes were made, as I said, like new enemies or some cosmetic changes, visuals. For example, we have the boss appearing not only on his own level but also on other levels, and small things like the tombstone exploding. Here we can see one of the new enemies, the skeleton. Despite the fact that we are trying to copy the original gameplay, we are putting the new elements, so even the players who are familiar with the Painkiller game have some new experience with this game.
Hi, I'm Jarosław Kulik, technical director here at Farm 51, and I will talk something about the technology used by Painkiller. We choose Unreal Engine as a base for the game because it's virtually a whole development platform. And this technology is easy to work with. It gives us a possibility to concentrate mostly on the important parts of the game, not to worry about technical issues most of the time. So, for example, we can easily tweak mechanics, gameplay. For example, the player movement and physics. We often change and tweak them to recreate the feeling of the original Painkiller. So we are developing the Painkiller for PC, Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And we can show you something, some level working already on the Xbox 360. We have here the original City on Water level, almost already tweaked for the new consoles. It's working smoothly. It needs a little bit polish, but like we can see, it's already working on the console. The mostly challenging part was to split the level into parts and prepare it for the limited amount of memory that we have on consoles. We also need to feed all the enemy sounds, not only the graphic stuff. We need to need free memory to get it working on some nice frame rate. In the original game, physics was interesting, and we need to still tweak some of the destroy parts, the enemy bodies, to get it look like in the original game. Hi, I'm Jarek. I'm the leader of animation in the Farm 51. We're here in the mocap studio in Bytom. We're recording here animation for characters and cutscenes in Painkiller Hell Damnation. Before we go to the mocap session, we're preparing a story script for the cutscenes. We have to decide which characters will be recorded on mocap session and which will have handmade animations. And then we're taking the stuff from mocap, we're transferring it to the skeletons of our characters, we're cleaning up that data of it. Most of human-like characters are recorded on mockup because we want to make them as realistic as it's possible, while all animal-like characters are very spooky and we don't know what is it characters are made by hand. We're really happy to have this studio because it's very close to our company.
Hi, I'm Cornelia. I'm from Krakow. I'm an actress. I finished theater school this year, and that's my first time here. But for me, it's interesting because I don't do the things like this. I don't play in games or on the computers. I want to know what we must do to create something like this. So I'm very happy that I can be here with this group.
How did you like it?
Yes, that's a physical experience because we don't need our face, our relations, or only movement.
So you can
Hello, my name is Marek. I was born in Bytom and I'm studying in Krakow in drama school. Question was, yes, why I'm doing this animation stuff for Painkiller? Because it is such a great fun and is kind of challenge because you can be a man, you can be anybody, you can be monster. This is so great for my imagination. I start to doing motion capture session in Painkiller project, and this is my about third meeting over here. It is a physics challenge because it's a lot of work, and you see I'm kind of wet, and it's like I said, it's very for brain, for imagination, because you must jump from one character to another character, and this is an actress thing.
Hi, I'm David. I'm working here as technical staff. I work with a motion capture system. We use software from Vicon. We work here as people who clean the data. We clean the gaps in the markers. On the actor, we have 53 markers. Sometimes markers just disappear, so we try to fill the gaps. The challenge was when we try to capture the data in the background, so the data is very dirty, we must clean it. Sometimes it spends lots of time, it's a very time-consuming process.
Tutaj w biodrach. Coś ten deseń, czy co dalej?
My name is Kamil Biczyński. I'm the lead designer and art director in the Farm 51 company. When we started working on the Painkiller in 2001, it was a great adventure for all PCF team members. We put a lot of effort and passion to creating state-of-art level design, characters and weapons. Now we want to present you a HD version of the best Painkiller franchise. One of the strongest parts of the Painkiller was the multiplayer. Great maps combining with old school gameplay gathered together many fans and professional gamers, like Fatality and so on. Everybody who likes old Painkiller will be more than happy to playing the HD version, because we want to add something new, something special, what will be introduced in the upcoming new events. One of the main challenges during the development process of the Painkiller HD version was adopt the old technology to the new one. I mean that using Unreal technology give you a great opportunity for the special effect, great shaders, more polygons and so on. But what is important for the Painkiller, we want to keep the spirit of the first version of from 2004. So and it was a great challenge for us to keep the spirit of the old great Painkiller and convert this into new Unreal technology, what was quite successful, and we are very happy what we do with that technology right now. Part of the original team also working on Painkiller HD version. What is very important for fans, we know how to make Painkiller game, and we want to introduce also Painkiller to the new audience for the PS3 and Xbox 360.